I have given birth twice, naturally, with no pain relief, and did not shed a single tear. But let me tell you, I have never felt pain like this in my entire life. It was the worst pain that I had ever experienced. Now, Hey people, my name is Naomi Osei and I'd like to welcome you back to our channel. On this channel, I'll be documenting our family's move from the UK to Ghana. That's right, we made the decision to move from the UK to the motherland, and we're documenting the highs, the lows, the good times and the not so good times as well. Now, it's been just over a week since you last received a video update from us, and that is because this past week, I have been suffering. This week I got my first taste of medical care here in Ghana, and it was terribly painful. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to probably show you the wound as well. So if you're feeling a little bit squeamish, if you're not really into that, I'll give you adequate warning so that you can turn away or just fast forward the video a few seconds so that you miss all the nasty bits. But yeah, let's dive straight into this. So for today's video, I decided that I would come out and sit out on the veranda, a decision that I may live to regret. So if you see me ducking and diving, just know that there are some creepy crawlies about and I'm trying to stay out of their way. All right, so it all started one day last week, near the beginning of the week. I was in the shower and I noticed that there was a small lump underneath my arm. Now, if you're anything like me, anytime anything is off with your body, you will go straight to Google, Dr. Google, type in your symptoms and oftentimes be read out a death sentence. Well, that's exactly what I did. So I realized that I was being probably a little too dramatic. However, I was still alarmed enough to just think, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Anyway, as the week progressed, it was starting to grow. It began to get more and more tender. Still, I wasn't going to take any drastic action, but again, it was just something that I was really aware of. Anyway, we come to the end of the week, and this thing has actually become quite painful. All right, we're coming towards the end of the week now, and my children had arranged to go to their friend's house for the night. So I thought, yes, I'm gonna have a night to myself. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go and link up with my sister. So we had it all planned, a really nice weekend planned. But the pain just started to increase. So it was Friday evening. I decided to go to my sister's house, even though I was in a bit of pain, and we thought maybe we'll get something to eat, maybe pop out and just take it from there. But by the time I actually had gotten to her house, I was in so much pain. The idea of going out just seemed absolutely stupid. There was no way I could go out and be in that amount of pain. So we decided that we would take matters into our own hands. Probably mistake number one, right? I went onto, again, good old Google to find out how I could pop this thing, how I could drain it. I know in hindsight that that was a mistake and I probably should have just left it alone, but hey, I'm just being honest, that's exactly what I did. So I remember reading somewhere or even watching, I think my sister showed me a video about like a hot compress. So using like a flannel in really warm water and then, you know, just kind of placing it there to try to encourage this thing to burst of its own accord and just to drain out. We tried that. It didn't work. It was just really painful. And I think with everything that I tried to get this thing to just burst so I could get some relief, it only made it worse. And so by the end of the evening, my sister said I sounded as though I was in labor. I was groaning, I was in agony. It was horrible. My sister is a medical student, and thank goodness she was here. She decided that she would come and take a closer look at it. she realized that I wasn't being too dramatic, and upon closer inspection, she decided that it was best that I actually got some medical attention and got it seen to, because she said it was growing too big. It had now become quite hard, and so she was quite concerned about it. So if a doctor in training tells me they are concerned, I am definitely now even more terrified than I was at the beginning of the week. So went back home that night, and I decided that on Saturday morning, the first thing that I would do is find a doctor or someone who would be able to take care of this. I made a few calls to some of the clinics in my local area, and I didn't get to speak to anyone because no one was answering the phone. Maybe it was a bit too early the time that I tried. I couldn't really sleep properly because I was in quite a bit of discomfort. Anyway, I eventually was able to make contact with a clinic in East Legon, and I'll put the details for that in just a moment. I called them. They were the first people to answer, and I asked them if I explained what was going on, the discomfort that I was feeling, and if it was possible to be able to see a doctor that same day. They said, yes, no problem. The doctor is here and available. So come down and they can, make an assessment and decide what the best course of treatment would be going forward. That was music to my ears. Yes, I was scared, but I decided, you know what, let me just get down there. So I was able to book a Bolt. I didn't take Uber on that day. I remember I took a Bolt and went down to the clinic and was able to see the doctor. Really nice team of people there. And really, really professional. I was really impressed from the moment I actually arrived at the clinic, and was able to be seen to relatively quickly. I got to see the doctor. He expressed that it was like an abscess that he needed to drain, and that I was in luck because he was able to do it that day. Oh, I said, praise the Lord. Thank you so much. I was so desperate for relief. And I think I was so desperate that I didn't even begin to think about what the process would entail. And that's probably a good thing, because if I did, I don't know if I actually would have gone. Anyway, they said that they can do it for me right now. So he called the nurses in, they brought in the anesthetic, and the dressings and whatever was required in order to do the procedure. So I had the anesthetic, and that's something that I was really, really nervous about. I'm really scared of needles. I'm afraid of pain. So they found it quite entertaining that I was so scared, but they told me, don't worry, it's not going to hurt. And they were right. It didn't hurt at all. I got the anesthetic, so that made the area really numb. And then before I even noticed, the doctor had made the incision, and then he just applied some pressure here, and all the nasty pus and blood and whatever had come out. So that was that. So he told me that, the best way for this thing to heal is for it to basically be left open, that they weren't going to stitch it, that they were going to pack it with some gauze to try to soak up the rest of the stuff that was inside, to make sure it was fully empty, and then just allow it to heal naturally. And for that, I would have to come back every other day to have the dressing cleaned. Sorry, not to have the dressing cleaned, to have the wound cleaned, and to have the dressing changed so that we could minimize any chance of infection. I was given a course of antibiotics that I would have to take for 7 days, and they gave me some painkillers, some Panadol. So that was the end of that. Sorry guys, I got terribly distracted by this random herd of cows that was parading down the road, and the shepherd had the audacity to lead it through our neighbour's land. So on that note, let's get back to the story. So I left the clinic that day, feeling rather happy. I was really impressed by the level of professionalism and the care that was offered. I told them that I am such a big baby and that they need to be gentle. I'm sure I even threatened the doctor. I told him that if he hurts me, I'm going to have to fight him. He doesn't want these fists. He laughed, but he promised that he would be gentle, and he absolutely was. So a massive thank you to the doctor and to the nurses there at the clinic, because I was terrified, and the experience really was pleasant. But let me just say, absolutely nothing could have prepared me for what would follow once the anesthetic had worn off. Now, let me just say, yeah, I have had 2 babies. I have given birth twice, naturally, with no pain relief, and did not shed a single tear. But let me tell you, I have never felt pain like this in my entire life. It was the worst pain that I had ever experienced. Now, I'm not a crier. I'm a bit of a tough one. I don't cry easily, but I am not ashamed to tell you that I cried every single day. Every single day I was in agony. And I can't remember what day it was, but it got to a point where the pain was actually starting to make me delirious. And one night I was talking to my mum, and I was like, I have to go, I have to get out, I have to go to the pharmacy. My mum was like, Naomi, what are you doing? It's pitch black outside, it's late, where are you going? I said, no, I'm in pain, it hurts, I can't cope, I have to go. And I was out the door. I walked out the door late at night. I was trying to find the pharmacy because I needed something stronger for the pain. I really wasn't coping well at all. The medicine that they had given, or the painkillers that they had given, didn't do anything to take the edge off the pain, and I was suffering. I couldn't cope. Thankfully, and I have to say, a massive shout out to my sister, Danielle. Danielle Osei, who is here in Ghana doing her medical placements. If it wasn't for Danielle, I don't know. People maybe see me right now walking somewhere in Accra with my panties on my head because I was out of it. The pain had sent me loopy. And so my mum called my sister, got her on the call and said, look, Naomi can't cope. You need to go to her house right now and you need to help her. The dressing had it was soaked through. There was a horrible smell. I guess that's the infection and who knows what it is. I'm not a medical professional. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it was so unpleasant. It was awful, and I was in agony. Yeah. So within the next hour or so, my sister arrived. She had bought new dressing for me, and she also had some more effective pain relief. Which is the only way that I was actually able to cope, because up until that point I was suffering. Literally, I had been reduced to tears. This pain was so bad. I have honestly never felt anything like it before. It was intense. It was burning, it was stinging, it felt like a stabbing pain. It was just the worst. And again, I've given birth twice. I know what that feels like, but this, it couldn't touch it. I would rather have 6 more babies than go through this again. It was not cool at all. The antibiotics that I was on, I was feeling so sick all the time. I'd even thrown up a couple of times. I was just feeling rotten. And on another note, I have to say, I genuinely do not understand how, when people are genuinely in pain or they're crying, how they can even think about picking up a camera to record themselves. I can be honest and say that the thought did not even cross my mind. When I was in that level of pain, if anyone put a camera in my face, I think I would have boxed it out of their hand, because that was serious. And in hindsight, maybe it would have been good to capture some of what I was experiencing, but I was not in the headspace to be able to cope with that. Over the next couple of days, the first time I went to get the dressing changed, unashamedly will say, the first time I went to get that dressing changed, I cried like a baby. They had to go into, it's an open wound. So they had to go in, they had to, with the gauze and dipped in whatever, and they had to clean it, and they're twisting the thing. Lord. It was bad. And I'm not a crybaby, but geez, listen, I cried, and they could only say sorry. They did say it was going to hurt, but I didn't think it was going to hurt to that extent. So I had to go every other day to change the dressing and to make sure that it was clean. It was still weeping and oozing at that point in time, so the healing was still taking place. Thankfully today I went for my dressing today, so they've changed it. They said it's no longer oozing, or the pus is no longer coming out, so that's really good. The wound is now not as deep. However, I do still have to keep coming back until it gets to a point where it's more of a superficial wound and they don't have to, put anything inside, or I don't know. But yeah, that was that. I remember the pain was so bad on one particular morning. Again, I was crying. That has been the theme for this week. Tears. I have not cried this many tears. I can't tell you how long. I was reduced to tears because and this is probably too much information, I genuinely could not even put my bra on. Like, I couldn't lift my arm that high. Oopsie days. I couldn't lift my arm. I was in agony. It was stinging, it was burning, and I just thought, how am I going to get dressed? I've got to get to the clinic to get this thing changed again. So I think I might have mentioned it before that I've hired someone to come and stay with me to help me with the children and the cleaning and what have you. And I had to call out to her to say, Auntie Hannah, please come and help me put my bra on, because I genuinely could not put my underwear on. I was in that much pain. I'm happy to say that, since then I am so much better, which is why I'm even able to do this video today. In the past week, there was no way I could have done it. I was just in complete agony. So my first experience of healthcare here in Ghana, I have to say the experience in terms of from the healthcare professionals was outstanding. I think they could have done better in giving me some stronger pain medication to be able to manage the pain. But they did say that they're surprised that I shouldn't be in that much pain, but perhaps that's an indication as to maybe how deep the infection actually was, or who knows what it is. So that's the only criticism that I could possibly give. And everything else other than that was perfect. There were no long waiting times when I went to the clinic. Also, to get the procedure done, to have it cut and drained, it cost me 350 cedis. I can't do my maths at the moment, so I'll have to put the equivalent somewhere on the screen. And what's the other thing? Oh, every time I go to get the dressing changed and to get it cleaned, I pay 20 cedis. And I'm glad that I actually did go when I did. The doctor told me that if I hadn't actually come in at that point, what would have happened is that the infection would have gone deeper into the tissue, and then it's likely that I would have had to have like a full-blown operation under general anesthetic. I would have had to be knocked out, put to sleep, so that they could operate. And so I guess this is just a word of advice, really. If you are experiencing any sort of discomfort or pain, and you're a little bit like me, a little bit scared of doctors, feel the fear, do it anyway. Go and see them, because I'm honest, this is not the type of thing that I would have gone to the doctor for, and it would have gotten so much worse, and I just dread to think what the result would have been if I had put this off. So definitely a really powerful lesson learnt there. If anything is not right, go to the doctor, get over yourself, get it checked out. So yeah, I am on the road to healing. I'm definitely on the mend, getting better now. And I'll probably put some pictures at this point towards the end of the video. So if you don't want to see anything more, if you don't want to see any blood, if you don't want to see the wound, then stop this video now. If you do want to see, if you're a little bit thinking, oh, I wonder what it looks like, then continue watching. I'll put it all in here. But yeah, that's it for today. Again, my first experience with medical care in Ghana has been a positive one. From that, the pain was not positive. I hated every second of it. But overall, the care that I received was absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for watching this. Please do drop a like if you've enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. Have you had to experience any healthcare in Ghana? Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. And if you are new to the family, if you've just subscribed, please do let us know where you have subscribed from. And do stay tuned. Once I get over this and I'm back to normal, I will get back to more of our content, more of our interviews. And we're going to be doing lots of fun stuff with the children over the next few weeks, so I'll be documenting all of that as well. So that's it for me. I'm gonna go crawl back into bed now because this pain medication does make me a little bit high, so I'm gonna go and chill out and relax till I have to go and pick up the children from school. But yeah, that's it for me. See you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.